my name is Miss Watson. I'm a biology teacher here at King Drew, and this is Charlotte. She is our class bearded dragon. Charlotte's age is unknown. She's a rescue, and I got her. They said she was between 1 and 3. I feel like that's the standard thing that they tell you at rescue organizations, but I've had her for about 2 years now. So for the most part, I feed Charlotte a diet of something called Rapashi, which is a brand of food that's specially designed to meet the needs of bearded dragons and mimic their diet in the wild. But she also gets mealworms, cockroaches. She loves strawberries, raspberries. Her favorite thing of all time is figs. We're in like fig season right now, or just a little bit past fig season. And then every once in a great while, I will feed her a pinky mouse, which is a little teeny tiny mouse that has just been born. Right out of college, I worked for a company that was started by one of my TAs from college called the Animal Guys. It's now called the Wildlife Learning Foundation. It was a zoo where we took care of animals in the morning and went out to schools in LAUSD and taught about ecology using animals as teaching tools. And one of the things that I was responsible for was what we called the herp room, which is where we stored all the amphibians and reptiles. And so I got to be able to learn how to properly take care of the animals. It's called animal husbandry. And I really got into it, and I knew when my life was stable enough and I could afford it, I would start becoming a collector. So I have Charlotte as my first reptile that I've ever owned. And then I have Eddie, who is a blue-tongued skink. And then I also have a lizard named Juanita, which was a lizard that kept sneaking into the parent center at King Drew. And so she lives with me as well.
What are some things you should know before keeping lizards or any other reptile?
It's a great question. A lot of people go to PetSmart and they think that, oh my God, these little things are so cute. The first thing you should know is if you get a baby lizard of any kind, they need to eat like every 4 to 6 hours. So baby lizards require a lot of food. They have fast little metabolisms, and that is a pretty big responsibility for most people. Second, the startup cost for owning a lizard is pretty high. So they need UVB light, they need heat lamps. If your house dips below 65 degrees at any time, you need another form of heat source. I use ceramic heat emitters. A lizard this size needs a minimum tank that's 4 feet long by 2 feet wide by 2 feet tall. You can't just keep them in like a small 40-gallon tank. And they are relatively intelligent compared to what most people think, so they do need some sort of enrichment. I do enrichment by feeding live food, like the worms and the cockroaches, and let her chase. She also gets to wander around my house on the weekends, and she has fun doing that. And then they're a responsibility. If you go on vacation, you have to make plans for them. You need to know how to feed them, and you should just do some research before you decide to bring a reptile into your home. All right, so this is her basking tank, or her tank for when she's in school. It has 2 kinds of lighting, which are needed for bearded dragons. It has a heat lamp, and it has UVB. Additionally, it has a temperature gauge that's always on in there so that I know what the hot side of her tank is. She has little things to crawl around on in here. Her favorite thing to do is to climb up in her hammock and watch you guys when you're downstairs in the quad. I do take her out multiple times a day when she's in this tank. Just so you guys know, this tank, it's called a 40-gallon breeder, is not a sufficient size for an adult bearded dragon. So they do need to be in a bigger cage, but she has a hot side of her tank and a cool side of her tank. And often in the afternoon when she's ready to take a nap, she'll move to the cool side of her tank and she will just go to sleep. But during the day, when she's nice and warm and active, she likes to be out and looking at all of you guys in the quad.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.